pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Supervisor Vecchio.
Here.
Councilman McCarthy.
Here.
Councilman Wareheim.
Here.
Councilman Creighton.
Here.
Councilman Lloyd.
Here.
Town board is here to consider preliminary budget of the town of Smithtown for the fiscal year 2014. Anybody wish to be heard on the preliminary budget? If not, I'll move to close the hearing.
Second.
Supervisor Vecchio.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Councilman Wareheim.
Yes.
Councilman Creighton.
Yes.
Councilman Lloyd.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I'll move to close the hearing.
You want to move to adopt the budget?
No, meeting's closed.
Second.
What's that?
Move to close the hearing.
Supervisor Vecchio.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Councilman Wareheim.
Yes.
Councilman Creighton.
Yes.
Councilman Lloyd.
Yes.
Newsday put in the wrong information. The most important information that I wanted to say about changing the buildings in the Hopog Industrial Park is that the people who live in Hopog, or anybody who lives south of Vets Highway or south of Northern State, they're the ones who should make the decision about whether or not there should be an overlay. Because as it is now, you're saying, well, it's going to be warehouses. Warehouses doesn't mean you can't have offices, doesn't mean you can't do production there. You do not know how much traffic any warehouse will bring to Hopog. There's 55,000 cars there right now that go on Vets Highway, go on 347 and Jericho. And we make those buildings higher. You have to make sure, I think you want underground parking. Well, there's a water issue there. And when my children went to the Hunting Hollow School, when they put in the European American Bank, which was years ago, it made the water go differently underground, and the water went under the gym and caused the gym floor to come up with water underneath it. If you're going to let 2 floors of parking under these buildings, what about the water table? What is the water table in that park? And also, people who live in Kings Park or live in St. James think they will not be affected by the traffic. They will be affected by the traffic because the traffic goes on to 347 and Jericho Turnpike. I was on Jericho Turnpike Sunday. It was bumper to bumper where 111 is. You had it to merge. So some board members think it's a good idea to make the industrial park accommodate higher buildings, 50 feet, 60 feet. Ask the people who live there. I lived in that community 31 years. I lived on McKay Drive, right off Overlett's Path. And I know the traffic that I had to put up with then when there was only 40,000 cars. So I think I know where I'm talking about, and I think that they're the people that should be concerned. Yes, you said you're going to get more money from these from industry, but you're also going to reduce the taxes for the people, and they'll only stay there 10 years, and when they, whatever the benefit they would get would disappear, and so would they. And then they moved down south, and that's what they did twice. So I know what I'm talking about. But Newsday did not say what I said.
So you're opposed to the overlay district?
I think that the
Okay.
people who live in the community, and that's, should have the say about whether or not how much traffic that's going to be. You cannot tell that.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me speak.
We closed the budget hearing already. Whoever wanted to speak is late. You're late. All right, I'll open it up. It's okay.
Take your time.
You're recording these, Mr. Clerk?
Yes.
Yes.
Good evening, Mr. Supervisor and Town Board members. My name is Richard Mastellaro, and I've been a member, resident of this Smithtown for more than 23 years. Thank you for the opportunity to comment on the proposed 2014 Smithtown Town budget. At the August 15th meeting, I presented some ideas to initiate a process, a plan wherein the community has an opportunity to have an input into the formation of the town budget. I will briefly summarize those points. Have open budget preparation workshops, allow community participation in the town budget's formation. There should be a series of public meetings. There should be a public biannual review of budget expenditures, and there should be a significant amount of budget surplus. I have some other information, and I'll just present it to the clerk. As for this year's budget, I too am pleased that you submitted a budget which reflects an overall decrease of $13.12 in taxes on a house assessed at $5,500. I appreciate that you have proposed a budget less than 2%, less than a 2% tax cap that Governor Andrew Cuomo and the New York State Legislature has imposed on local governments. However, I'm more concerned about ensuring that the jobs listed in your budget are 100% filled at all times. I'm not suggesting that you add or create unnecessary jobs. I'm recommending that you fill all proposed jobs and ensure that when a job is vacant due to attrition, temporary layoffs, or other means, that job is filled within a reasonably accepted time frame. A job provides a person with a sense of dignity and pride. Some jobs were eliminated and some were reclassified into other departments. The problem here is not doing more with less. The problem is that some jobs were taken out of the budget while these jobs restructuring enabled the remaining staff to receive slight salary increases. This budget further reduces Smithtown's workforce. That's unacceptable. As a public service employee yourself, I'm sure you are concerned about job longevity, salaries, and benefits. However, when jobs remain temporarily unfilled, the ripple effect is long-lasting. Town members cannot pay their mortgages, property taxes are not paid, local business suffers, families are uprooted, school enrollments declined, and governmental safety nets are unnecessarily impacted. Perhaps you should consider eliminating obsolete jobs and replacing them with better time-saving and useful jobs. Thank you.
Mark Herbst?
He's not using the clock, he says.
Thank you,
Don't
Mr.
stop
Supervisor. My name is Mark Herbst. I am the Executive Director of the Long Island Contractors Association, and we are the representatives of the heavy construction industry for Long Island. And we have just completed, as you know, we did an analysis from information of all the municipalities on Long Island regarding the investment since the downturn in the economy since 2008 to find out what impact it has had on our local governments. And we had our information, we culled through it from the State Comptroller's Office, from the records that were provided from each and every town and village and county, as well as the state government, to see what has happened to the economy as far as our localities and governments. And what the information revealed to us is that there has been a turn down as we kind of expected, but the numbers speak for themselves. Often we have taken the approach that when we come to town boards and other public hearings, we advocate for more investment in infrastructure. And we advocate and ask you during a budget process, and we hear a dialogue regarding about plans for the budget. This year we've decided to take the opposite approach and looked at the actual expenditures over the last few years. And what they revealed for the town of Smithtown, regrettably, is you are at the bottom of the bottom. You can't go any lower. Of all the townships, the investments in our highways in this town average out about $25 per resident. Other towns, the next town is twice that amount. Some towns are over $120 per resident. And what does that mean? That means the investment that's being made is showing that there is no clear enthusiasm, excitement, or desire to care about our communities for the future. A lack of investment means a deterioration for the future. Members of the board, most of you I know personally, and I know you're a very credible, good, hardworking, honest public officials. I'm here this evening to present you with the facts, and I implore you to look at the facts and take the steps necessary to invest in the future for the town of Smithtown, because the residents deserve the safety. And if you do not make those investments, particularly in the hot bog industrial area, where the businesses will pick up and move and leave, shifting the burden of the taxes strictly to the residential areas where their roads too are deteriorating. It's time to look at what's necessary. It's time to make the investment and make the hard decisions to realize it's about the future, and there will be no future. And we have a wheelbarrow filled today of broken asphalt, and we'd rather not bring the road to you, but have you build roads that bring Smithtown to the future. Thank you.
I'll move to close the hearing.
Second.
Supervisor Vecchio?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Councilman Warehime?
Yes.
Councilman Creighton?
Yes.
Councilman Malloy?
Yes.